sometimes Claire shows up and she's wearing something she knitted. And today she's wearing a shirt. And I hope you're watching this on YouTube so you can see how lovely it is. She's wearing a beautiful knitted sweater, sleeveless tank.
How long did that take you?
That's a hard question for a knitter to answer because it would be maybe like in hours. I don't know, maybe like 15 to 20 hours of work.
Yeah, but you do it over like a year or something?
Yeah, I just pick up a ton of projects.
And let's just talk about some places that you do knit. So I have literally been standing in a line with her and just waiting to order food. And she will legitimately be talking to you and knitting. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, well, I got to get my hours in.
You got to stitch where you can. It's really soothing.
Yeah. I mean, my brother went through a phase where with his students, like he would have them knit something. It was for some project. And of course, he's in English, whatever. But so then he was just constantly walk around. We would be doing the radio show and whatever. And he's just sitting there like knitting as we're.
All right. It's a little weirder to think about that with a, I don't know,
with
Will's
a brother?
Yeah, when your brother, if your brother.
It's kind of charming.
I think they were doing something for
that
charity.
immediately-
They were making
Claire's
things
turned on. So
That's it, knitting.
Is he married?
tell me more about him.
Well, if you really want to know, so knitting, and this is not why I do it. I've started knitting when I was a kid, and if I had my dream job aside from goat farming, I would do some kind of art. Like if art made me money, I would be an artist, but fiber arts. But so knitting is 2 needles. Crocheting is 1. Never confuse them.
I have before, and
People
I
do,
apologize.
and
I said it about you once, and you were so deeply offended.
Yeah, we're like, crocheters, what a joke. Okay, but anyway.
Pretty sure he was crocheting, by the way. Sorry.
I knew it. It's easier. Yeah. Child's play. Okay. So knitting with 2 needles. In EMDR therapy, so the eye movement, desensitization, reprocessing, that is a trauma therapy, okay? And it's where your eyes go back and forth and you reprocess trauma. Or you can tap, or a therapist will tap, or whatever. Knitting does that because it's cross-body stimulation because it's the 2 needles going left and right and left and right. So it really is like soothing to the brain. Why are you smirking?
I'm smiling because I'm thinking about the times.
Or besmirching knitting.
I'm literally thinking about all the times where you will pull out your knitting, and I'm like, damn, she needed therapy while we were talking.
No,
I'm just
it's
kidding.
just fun. And look, do you know how
You look
much
gorgeous.
I thrive wearing something I made?
I think it's just a disclaimer. We should say that we're both on our periods and anything is possible today. There could be
I've
screaming, crying,
cried.
Who knows?
How many times do I have to blink at the camera for help?
Nope. There's no one's coming. Vincent, our
Look.
video producer, is not coming for your help. And listen, we're talking about crisis and chaos today. And I have not experienced either of these over the last couple of months. I've been like really calm and chill.
Just everything on the up and up. Just
everything's really good.
Do you want to say more?
About how good and chill and everything has been? Or do you want me to know? No, I've been in a season. I call it the country music season. The sad country song season is how it's felt.
What would the song be called?
This song would be called Are You Fucking Kidding Me?
do you listen to sad songs when you're sad?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I am loathing. I'm running a bath. I'm crying. I'm finding things that used to make me cry to see if they'll still make me cry. Just get it all out.
Got to introduce you to Elliott Smith.
I love Elliott Smith.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Between the bars, I'll go straight to Cry Town. All right. Well, I could go through a lot, but God, Patty Griffith came on your radio station.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
because you're on your period or because you just needed a good cry?
who's to say? Felt right.
To say. But today we're talking about getting back on track when you're in the middle of chaos or a crisis. Like, it's just the easiest time. I have, in the country music season, the sad country music season song that I'm in, I'm believing I'm on my way to a happy country music song. But for now, I have been moving. I bought a historic home in a historic neighborhood, and a lot of things have gone right, but there have been some things that have also not gone as right as one would want. I'm in a painting project. The Historical Society has come after me. I didn't even know that was something to expect. I thought you spend
Oh,
a lot
for
of money
sure.
on a house and
They
then
don't
they
care.
show up and they're taking photos of my house. And this is why, like, okay, so in a crisis in my season right now that I'm coming out of, but it has been really hard for the last couple of months. I would say that you're doing your best to figure out how to still show up as like a whole person and do your job and be a good friend, as good as you can be to people, be a good leader in my case, and then handle the life thing. So like moving is its own big thing that even just on its own, if you're just buying another house and moving, it's a pain in your ass. Like your flooring situation, it's such a pain in the ass, right? But like on top of that, to be still show up, be fully functional, and then all of a sudden, you know, you walk into your new kitchen and the wallpaper makes you want to vomit and throw up because you just hate it so bad. So you're having that redone, and then you find out Robert, which is just a nickname for Dick, the Historical Society
Should have
guy.
gone with Richard, but yes.
All right, okay. That's a good point. Never correct me. Damn it.
Vincent, we need a retake. Just kidding.
Just kidding. Okay, so Richard or Robert, Dick, shows up in my house and he's taking photos. The prison release people who are painting the house. I'm just kidding. They really have gone to prison. Miss Sandy is quite wonderful. She's reformed. But she's painting the house, and then he's interrogating them about why they're painting the house, who approved this. And I'm like, I just paid a lot of money for this house. So I walk down and I'm like, can I help you? My name's Laura. I live here. What can I do for you? And he was like, oh no, this is very bad. And I was like, well, for now, I could see that it would be shocking because they're in the middle of painting and you can't really see the full. Can I show you the rendering? He was like, it wouldn't matter what the rendering looks like because it is always inappropriate to paint historical brick. And I was like, all right, Dick. Here's the thing, Richard. The brick was already painted when I purchased the home. And I checked with my real estate agent. By the way, my real estate agent is the most precious, wonderful person I know. It's Claire's aunt. And she's so lovely. And we have obviously become best friends through my buying process. And he said, I was like, well, I checked with my real estate agent. And she was very clear that there are definitely things that you need to go to the Historical Society on. But because my home doesn't have a plaque, like, this is an aesthetic change. And he was like, well, in my experience, real estate agents are not smart.
Whoa.
That's a real, I need you to know, someone physically had to remove me away from old Dick. Because I was like, oh, in your experience, did you just generalize an entire group of humans who give their life to this particular career? I was like, well, I happen to know my real estate agent. She's very smart. She was very friendly. She educated me very well. And I was like, and I don't care. Now get off my property.
So
Dick.
educate me for a second. This is not an HOA. This
No.
is not something that you... Okay, and is this something that is suggested you abide by, or something that, like, for some reason there's zoning where you have to abide
There is
by?
no, okay, so I did do some more research and I reached out to Ashley immediately and was like, hey, this dude just rolled up to my house. And she was like, what was his name? I was like, God, I can't remember. I'm
was
so
Dick.
mad. His
Richard.
name's Dick. She found him. She reached out to the president of the Historical Society, whatever it's called. And there are things that if you're going to do them to a historic home, you have to get them approved. They typically go in front of this historical committee, but these are only things that if you are modifying your home in a non-aesthetic, like more than aesthetic. So like I can paint my house and no
Something
one,
you would need a permit for.
Exactly. If you have to get a permit, the permit goes through the city of Birmingham, just like always. And then it goes to this historical committee for approval. And they have, I mean, there's really great, smart people on that committee. But this is not something like that. The color palette that I chose is the historical, like it's within the palette that is the years that this house was built, which was 1927. So...
And it was already painted. The brick was
Yeah,
already
So
painted.
it's a moot point
Yeah.
anyways.
Suck it, Dick. Anyways.
Should we have called him Ken? I do like the Richard Dick thing. But isn't Ken the male Karen? Isn't it?
I don't know.
I think so.
Well, I'm fine with that. His name is Ken. Anyways, what I want y'all to know is that this was a dark, deep moment of just like, holy shit. And just the realization of like, I was so unstable with old Richard Dick Ken, whatever we want to call him. And I felt myself just like showing up in a way that I'm like, oh my God, it's all culminating to this moment in front of my half-painted historical home with Sandy singing gospel music on a scaffolding. And, you know,
I love you have a lady painter.
a lady painter.
How are
named
we not
Sandy.
filming all this? Like we need a crew. Vincent,
Living.
we need
Vincent.
They need to
Vincent,
be-
follow me to the house after this. She really is. I mean, she's prayed with me in my kitchen several times. Like, it's
bet
just,
she has.
she has. She's told me about her first day in prison in 06 and her second stay in prison in 09 and some radical transformation that's happened in her family to break some generational
So she
cycles.
knows about chaos, is what you're telling me.
I think I'm attracting these people.
Well, what you're talking about is months of crisis and chaos, slowing down and becoming something good. And then I think there's also the idea of chaos for other listeners where if they aren't in this like massive place of change, of crisis and chaos could happen on a much smaller scale, like a fender bender or something else.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've had both of those. I think I'm in the bigger one.
You are, but a lot of what I want to talk about psychologically works for both of those things. So I just wanted to name if someone's not in the middle of a dumpster fire, this should be relatable if you're like in a, sorry. I'm sorry I said you.
I am the person that has been in the dumpster fire, folks. That's what she's saying. And she's not wrong. Little Miss Knitter is on fire
If
today.
you'd been knitting this whole time, you might not have felt so deeply.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Okay. So first, chaos, what does that mean to y'all on smaller scale?
I mean, chaos to me can be walking into a client meeting and it blowing up and not going the way that it wants, and the client freaking out on you, and you know, having some stress around like, oh my gosh, this isn't how I anticipated this going. I think chaos can be getting into a small accident or a fender bender. I think chaos could be seeing something really traumatic that doesn't have anything to do with you, but just creates this like little bomb in the middle of your day. What are some others?
Yeah, I don't want to just define it like with a synonym, but I usually think of chaos as being like multiple things off the tracks at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. So more than
Yeah.
one thing going wrong at the same time. And it's like, uh-oh, just like swirling trauma.
I think having younger kids, there's a moment of chaos every day with like 2 dogs, 2 kids, several cats. I have a moment of like my head spins all the way around at least once a day.
Yeah. You're in that season though too with your
I am.
kids.
So like I have an opportunity, because we'll get to positive reframe today. I have an opportunity to face chaos at least once a day. The other day I had my favorite contractor at my house dealing with continued repair work. And every time he's come, my house has just been a mess, like just from life, like kid stuff everywhere, dishes in the sink, like I haven't vacuumed. And that day my house had been cleaned and I was like, finally, he gets to see how I want to pretend I live all the time
These 3 hours, this house stays
before
clean.
no one gets here. I really want to be like, nobody live here for one day, please. So I'm so excited. We get to my house at the same time. I unlock the door, open it, and it smells like actual shit, like poop. And I'm like, God damn it. And Nacho, who had eaten a full Domino's pizza.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that happens.
I wouldn't feed him a full Domino's pizza.
Okay, Dad.
I advise against that.
So he had shit, diarrhea across the couch, which I keep covered. So it wasn't that hard to clean, but it was the length of the 7-foot couch
Stop.
with vomit on each end. So
That
it
was
was
so nice of him.
vomit, poop, vomit.
Well, he had to sit there and smell that, so he threw up. Yeah.
contractor. And I was like, did he throw up? Oh my God, that's shit. I'm so sorry. Plug your nose. We have to talk about the bathroom and I'll deal with this later. And I just like folded up the blanket, left the vomit, and then we just stood in the bathroom, the tiny kids' bathroom.
The middle bathroom.
And I'm like, so what do you think the first step is, David? And I'm like, that fucking dog ruined the facade I was going to have of the perfection that I live in today.
Finally, my house is clean and the dog shit and vomited everywhere.
Really
is that not an
looked so
Alanis
nice.
Morissette song?
Hydrangeas in a crystal vase were out. Like, it looked good. And he ruined it.
Smelled like shit, look good. Yeah, so that feels like, and I think obviously for listeners that do have small children or even honestly kids under the age of 18 that still live with you, your life has probably got some chaos in it. But like, I agree with Will in some ways, but I would tell you, especially for women who are planners and like to like really map out their day, it only just takes one thing to make it feel like you're
For sure.
one thing that's off track.
For sure.
Will needs like there to be like a catastrophic event.
It's like, I'm a little ruffled.
20 things have gone wrong, and Will's like, oh no, this looks
Chaotic. Yeah.
Okay, so the psychology part, my favorite part. So chaos typically stresses people out because it's things we can't control and we ache to control it so it feels soothing. That's typically where we go awry. And per usual, I'm not talking about massively traumatic events. I'm talking about your dog shit on the couch.
Good. That is massively traumatic.
I will say,
For me,
honestly,
that would be
It's like another day in the life.
honestly, even talking about shit makes him stressed out. Look how red he is just from us like being like the dog shit.
I'm just saying that's a big deal. A dog pooping all over from one end to the other.
I'm talking from arm to arm of the full length couch. Okay, so well, thank you for validating me. It was awful. And what sucks is the couch cover was one of those really good little giraffe blankets, the full size little giraffe blanket. I should just throw it away. I mean, it was
Drenched.
disgusting.
All right, go ahead with the psychology.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just did want to sit with that for a second. Okay, so can't control, we ache to control. When we ache to control, that's when our brain gets really whacked out in this, okay? I have a lot, so just give me the time out if you're like, wait, we have a story or a question here, because I'm going to start my TED Talk now, okay?
Okay, great.
So I wrote this down because I loved this. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. So the whole thing, when I can't control it, what I have left is my internal locus of control, my attitude. That's it. And so I went deep on this one because I was like, I'm going to prove this shit
And
to
you're
people.
on your period.
I'm feeling
it.
Feel it. And this isn't just like what I think. This is what the psychology world knows. Okay, so the first one is cognitive appraisal theory. Came out in 1994. Basically, it is the idea that stress doesn't actually come from the event, the shit on the couch, or Dick from the Historical Society, if he can even prove it, It comes from how... What are you laughing at?
I was just like laughing because if he can
It was
even.
funny what you said.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I'm really sensitive today. I'm like, why did you smile at that
I
thing?
was worried because I smiled a minute ago. I was like, oh, she's going to ask me why I'm smiling.
Hang on. I'm so sorry. Let me just... I don't know what's going on with me. I think I'm just excited today. And please smile.
Okay.
Okay, please.
I thought you loved being funny.
I do.
I'm like literally like, and you're like, "Bleh, why are you doing that?"
I'm shaking it off. I'm starting over. Okay, so the theory is stress doesn't come from the actual event. It comes from our appraisal of the event. What do I believe about this, and what am I going to think about it, and what am I going to do about it? Where we fall short is, so internal locus of control is, I believe I can change my attitude. I really believe that. External is that like passive, I'm helpless, you need to fix it, not me, and we stay in the chaos. And by staying in the chaos, that kind of looks different for everybody. Laura's going to fight somebody on her lawn. I'm going to cry, and fall apart. So how you respond to the chaos looks different. So, do I need to pause? Are we still good?
Well, it's interesting because I have to go for a lot of walks with my chaos. That's what I took two. Took two that day. I was like, need more than one. The one didn't do it.
Well, because what did the second walk give you?
Well, the second walk gave me permission to do what you're talking about, which was like, I got to decide that I could restart my day right then. I was like, I'm going to go take a shower. The walk isn't working. I'm going to go take a shower, shake this shit off, and I'm going to restart my day because it sucked so far.
Yeah. And we talk a lot about like the coping skills and the active tools. What I think we haven't talked a ton about is the belief that inside I can change how I feel. It's really hard for me to convince a client that that is possible because when we feel so out of control, we want some kind of like savior to rescue us or something to shift. And that likely won't happen in those moments. If I'm in traffic, I'm in traffic. If the dog shits on the couch, the dog shat upon the couch. Like I don't get to change the circumstance.
I can't stop Robert from standing on the road or Richard or Dick or whatever and taking photos of my house from a public space. I can't.
It's true. So when we are in this positive state, and this is a whole, I won't name all the research. I can put it in the show notes if we need. But basically, if we believe this, it directly impacts the nervous system. So lowers blood pressure, decreases our heart rate. If we let ourselves, and I'm saying if you let yourself stay in a state of chronic stress, what happens is the amygdala, the fear center, gets super engaged, super active all the time. So it goes up, and the prefrontal cortex, my logic, like, oh, no worries, the dog pooped on the couch, I can wash it or buy a new blanket, that goes down. But if I practice my attitude, reframing, the amygdala, the fear center, softens. My prefrontal cortex comes back online. And if we do it over and over and over again, the brain changes.
That's how you build new neural pathways.
That's right. And then I think you do this, and I think it's really, really good. When someone, like if you're in a group and let's say traffic's just an easy example, and let's say the three of us are in a car trying to get somewhere, we hit traffic and you are like funny and put on a good playlist and it's like, oh, well, here we are. Do you want to play categories or I Spy? That is contagious to the rest of the group. So when, like particularly even for parents, like if we're in chaos with our kids and the dogs are running crazy and, you know, one kid can't find their shoes and one kid forgot where their computer was and mom or dad's head is spinning, when we can soften and make a joke and say, hey, let's start our day over, that spreads. And that's real. That's a real thing.
Yeah, I think like whatever you focus on is going to get bigger and bigger, right? So that's what I remind myself, like whatever I'm focusing on is going to multiply. So if I'm focusing on this really shitty thing, then that shitty thing is just going to get bigger and bigger. But if I can reframe it and be like, okay, here's what I can. I mean, I literally was on a walk having that talk with myself. What can I control right now? I can control how I show up. I can control how I respond. I can control the way that I treat the rest of my day. I can either wash this day away and be like, it just sucks and this is where it is. Or I can say, no, I can go take a shower and I can reset. Yes. And then I can write down 3 things that I'm thankful for and try and focus on something that actually really matters to me. Not Robert the Dick, not the shitty wallpaper, not all the other things that are really bad.
So people don't typically like this advice. Like in my history of being a therapist, it's like too easy. It's like if you, I found this with like injuries too. If you have some kind of inflammation, the answer is typically ice and Advil consistently. People don't like to do ice and Advil because it feels too easy. They're like, where's the magic pill to make it all go away? Rather than me being consistent and reducing the inflammation. It's the same thing psychologically. It's like too easy in theory and takes too much tiny amounts of work for people to believe that this is factual information for them to do.
Well, I can promise you it is. It is over and over again. The thing that I come back to is like, even in my chaos, shitstorm, tornado in a trailer park season that I've been living through, which we will talk about at some point on an episode, I'm just not ready yet, is that I can just control how I show up. And the people that I take in really matter. So when I'm spinning out of control, who I reach out to will determine how long I stay in that place. Because if I can't get myself on track, I can call Claire and say, like, hey, I'm really off track right now. I'm spinning. I'm obsessing. I call it activated. I'm very activated right now, and I can't get myself out of it. She can mirror to me some things she knows that would work for me. Like, you can go do this, this, and this. And I'll be like, fuck, I know I can. I should go do that right now.
So what you're talking about is like looking for the external resource when the internal doesn't work anymore. And we sometimes get to that point too. So like you've been in chronic stress. So the internal stuff will tap out at some point. So we do get to shift to the external. And that doesn't mean you're looking for me to rescue you. You're like, hey, I'm out of thoughts. I'm out of coping. Help me out here. And it's not me saying everything's going to be fine. It's like, go do this thing or say that.
Well, it's funny because I had someone call me who was so overwhelmed. This is before my crisis, but who was so overwhelmed they could not catch their breath. They were crying so much. And I said, hey, in this moment, the only way I can help you is if you get off the phone with me and you go for a 10-minute walk and you drink some really cold water and then call me back when you can breathe. Do not look at your phone. Do not do any of the things that you would do. Scroll. Do not call another person who tells you what you want to hear. Go do this thing. And then they called me back and they were like, oh my God, I feel so much better. Because when you're overwhelmed, sometimes you just can't tell yourself the right thing to do. But who you reach out to will determine the trajectory of if you're continuing to spiral out of control or if you can pull your shit back on track and be proud of like the version of you that gets to show up in a little while.
And so I think a lot of people go through seasons of chronic stress. It happens with either work, relationships, parenting, whatever it is. It might be a chronically stressful time. But the people that build the most resiliency are the ones that shift their attitude, the internal locus of control. Like that is our number one piece in shifting how I feel and how I move through stress.
It's a powerful tool. And of course, I always say, one of my big rules is you can only worry about the stuff that you can control. You're wasting your energy and time if you worry about something that's out of your control.
And honestly, if people just did that one thing, which is so hard, it's so hard because especially women, I'm speaking for myself in this, we love to pretend we have control of shit we don't have control of. I mean, our children, our other people at our jobs, the way our day is going to go even. Like, there's just so many things. Okay, so, but to wrap this up.
I was going to say we need a little wrap sign over there that I can light up by remote.
Ooh, wrap. I like that.
Yeah, but then right as I was thinking that, you said to wrap it up.
Synchronicity.
If your crisis had a Halloween costume, what would it be?
Have y'all seen Inside Out 2?
Yeah, I do think it, yeah.
Okay. Ennui, the like French emotion that's like, like that's very me. Like, I'm like, I love that, like, falling all over the place. I like her.
I do like her too. I feel like, I don't know.
But that's like a very Enneagram 4. Like we can find the depths of the emotion all the time.
You know what's hilarious is I was like, God, if mine had it would be like, she would be like buttoned up and looking perfect. That's the Halloween costume. Like, pretend you're all okay, send her in.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Wait. What's her name in Blazing Saddles? Lily von Stupp.
Oh.
Who's like, I'm so tired.
You've brought her up a lot.
Tired. That's actually who I am. That's actually, she's dressing like the French maid. I'm obsessed with her.
That's actually not surprising. Who would you be?
I think I'd be maybe a big eyeball where I could make the pupil roll. So it's just like an eye roll. Yeah. Because I don't like it. Right?
I don't like it.
I don't like
chaos.
it. Okay, well, listen, in case you're in a crisis or you're feeling chaotic, we hope this helped you because we love you and we've been there too.
Change your attitudes.
Change your attitude.
Possible.
It's the only thing you can control. Go get a shower.